So, okay. Um, Good afternoon. Yeah. So, Tarun, um, I think you might have shared to the program to Nitin, and well, let us complete one small thing is there in that one to have some kind of security feature or something like that. So, is it possible for you to share your screen so that I can tell the steps to be performed on your by using your system?
Should I share the screen?
Yeah, yeah. Is it okay for you?
Yes,
Is
sir.
it okay?
The
Yeah, yeah.
same code of that day.
We will continue that program just for a small demo only. Yeah. Is there any problem, Tarun?
No, sir, I'm sharing.
Yeah. So, so this is the program which we are discussing in the class session regarding sending the email using Node.js, right? So, can you please test it whether it is the program is running or not, if you don't mind, Tarun?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's logging correctly.
Sorry.
It logged correctly, sir. Like mail sent successfully.
Mail sent successfully. You are receiving the. Okay. Okay. So, is it possible for you to open your inbox? Check
Yes, sir.
check that one.
Yes, sir, I received it.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. So now let us please open the code, your program code. Yes. So here the problem here is your user details, that is authentication details, are been exposed in the sense that they are been revealed. So here this is your authorization on the transport. When the object is getting created, you are giving the username and the corresponding password. So most of the cases, uh, you need to some kind of hide this particular set of features, the username and the password. So how do you make it, or how do you hide those username and password so that the public will not be able to view these particular authentication details or the authorization details? So for this one, Tarun, can you go to keep this you can minimize this window and go to this particular, you are doing it in the desktop. Okay, just go to the command prompt.
I can run it on the VS Code itself.
Yeah, so here.
Sir, is it regarding environment variables, sir? I mean storing the password.
You can use, yes, you can use the environment variables also for this one. But before using the environment variables, you need to install that corresponding package. That is a module, environment module.
Yes.
Have you installed that one?
No,
That
sir.
is also one way. That is one way. Okay, now easy your system. Okay, you go to your command prompt, npm, yes, run npm install .env space and the dependencies. Dependencies will be, you can give some hyphens, capital. Just one, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So now this particular program has to be, what you need to do is you need to, this module has to be included onto your program. So open your program, go to the, before the variable declarations, yes, require, no, don't declare a variable. You need
Yes,
to
sir,
put
yes,
the
sir.
include file only, yeah. Yeah, and give the configuration also. You set the configuration there only, yes. Semicolon. Save this program.
Yes, sir.
Open a new file here in the same folder. Yes. Save as. Put it in quotes. Put it in quotes. No. You have to put it in quotes. Yes, it will be a text file then. No, remove this file. You have to remove this file. What happened? You are doing correct only. Just go. You can keep that file. You can open another file. That's all. There's no wrong. Yes.
Quotes in this.
Within quotes. When you give within quotes, the extension also, whatever the extension you give it there, it will double quotes. Better to give the double quotes. These windows, yeah. Yes. .env, right. Now we save. No need to save any of the file type. Just because you are given there, yeah, save it. See, now it is changed to your, what is the .env indicates? Means what does the dot file indicates?
I get it, sir.
Please.
We'll store the environment variables.
Of course, you are installing the environment variables, but what does that dot followed by the extension indicate? What does that file denote?
So I don't know.
Okay, forget about other things. In your Windows environment, if a file name is with the dot, what does it indicate? Yes, please. No idea.
No,
Okay,
sir.
I'll ask the question in another way. What is meant by hidden file?
That won't be visible to the normal user.
Dot means configuration related files, sir.
This is a configuration file only. I'm asking in the other question for him, for the others also. What does a file name with a prefix with the dot indicate? That's what my question here is. This is basically your Windows file names. No, you need not. Yeah, that is okay. Dot starting, not how the Google search will understand that you are looking for file names with dot. That is not the way
Oh,
to
I'm
search.
sharing the screen. Hello.
Sir, maybe they are invisible, sir.
That's what invisible, the hidden. That's what I'm telling, hidden. See, okay, I will put the question in another way. Whenever you create a directory in the Windows environment, there will be two default directories or two default files will be created. One with dot and another with dot dot. What does this two indicate?
Sir, maybe file system hierarchy information, sir.
You are not exactly onto that one, but anyway, please find out that answer for this is a very common and very trivial answer. Of course, this you might have studied in operating system, you might have forgot now. So check it. What is that dot file name and dot dot file name indicates? Okay, next for that one. Okay, now this is basically a hidden configuration file that you are going to set up for your environment variables that can be used here. Okay, so now give that email and password. Email is equal to yes is equal to whatever the email you are using for you to transport that particular object. Yeah. Okay, and yes, the next one yes, password is equal to whatever the password you are you have to type for that particular corresponding email. Okay, now this is a hidden configuration file. The users will not be able to view this one. Okay, now you save this one. Come here. Yes, now you just replace that user with your comma. You keep the comma there. Yes, there is a JSON format. Yes, that is email. Username is email.
Yes, sir.
Email. The variable that you use over there is email. Type there.
Directly.
So you now first type that one, and you have to access this variable from the environment. So you have to put env.email, and this environment has to be a process which is running in the background. So you put yes process dot yes. Similarly, yes env dot pass. Yeah, save it now and run the program. So your email and password are been now in some form they are been hidden from the user, from the public. They'll not be able to see here now. So you go to a mail inbox and you can just check over there. Yes, now this is the latest one that is come here. So this anyway, whenever you're using the JavaScript files, so you may need to have these environment process variables also. So at that time, it will be very much useful when you're working in this environment. So just keep remembering this thing, right? So this is fine. And any doubts here, please? No. Nitin, are you okay? So this your Node.js email has been working.
Yes, sir.
Right. Yeah, tell me now. Those are having some doubts, please put forward your doubts.
Sir, and I just searched about what actually dot and dot dot files mean, sir. I've got the answer like dot means the current directory and dot dot is the parent directory of
Parent
the.
directories. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So that kind of means that they belong to the file system hierarchy itself. No, sir. I mean they denote the file system hierarchy, the current one,
Yes.
and also the parent node.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other doubts, please? So just for your information, new material is put on your course page. You can see your course pages there. So I have demonstrated the use of your jQuery. So jQuery is another important feature that everyone should be having some confidence in using those jQueries. So basically, jQuery is your JavaScript library that will be useful for you to manage your DOM objects, more specifically the objects which are being used on your web pages. So for event handling, for AJAX operations, for moving your paragraphs or your buttons or your text, any tag values you want to move from one location to another location, or have some functionalities for your tags, then you can use the jQueries. So the jQuery will be helpful for you to uh, minimize your source codes. In other terms, you can write less and do more work. So the jQuery advantage is to write less number of lines of your code. You can use it for your real-time applications and as well as for your dynamic web applications. So jQuery will going to be very much useful. So please look into that particular slides and the video and the demos. And of course, I kept the this particular thing, the exercises, they are not required compulsory. Those who are interested, you can do those exercises, which I already placed on the course page. Okay, can you just yeah, I'll just present that particular thing for you. And so just to quickly recap what are the things that are remaining for us. So I'll just have a look on these things. So are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you look to the syllabus here, so are you able to see the screen, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So to quickly recap, we started with the computer networks application layer protocols. So we started to understand about what is HTTP, what are the uses of the proxy servers, then SMTP, POP, and IMAP for your email exchanges, and for you to transfer the data and to access the remote systems, we have used the SSH protocol and FTP. And we understood about the peer-to-peer protocols and the distributed hash tables techniques in implementing these peer-to-peer systems. Then we moved on to understand about the web designing and development technologies, which started with HTML, followed by CSS, then the server-side scripting with PHP, then the client-side scriptings with the JavaScripts, then followed by the extended markup language, then the DOM properties and the dynamic contents, and what is the use of cookies and how do you make use of cookies and sessions on your web pages. Then we move on to unit 3, the how do you connect to your server, the server in the sense your database server and your other technologies using MySQL and MongoDB and JDBC and servlets. So here Node.js is already been given to you. So the pending thing is here is the JSP. So this one JSP is pending for you, that I will complete it by tomorrow. So I'll keep the material to you. Then coming to unit number 4, we have the asynchronous JavaScript, AJAX is what, and the XMLs. So we completed the jQuery now. So JSON is already been completed to you. So we are now pending with here is Ruby on Rails. GoJS, Firebug. So these are the 3 topics, and the JSP 4 topics. So in the last unit, whether to be considered or not, I will let you know in the next week. So the remaining only the 4 topics are there: Ruby on Rails, more importantly, JSP and the Ruby on Rails. So of course the GoJS and Firebug is very small topics, very trivial topics. So only the another two important topics are there. One is JSP and the Ruby on Rails. So the coming 3 weeks, I will be completing these 4 topics for you, especially. So regarding to the Google Maps, this is very simple topics only. Google Maps and keyhole markup language. This is not very that much important to you. So at moment, I will just keep it aside and only let us come seriously consider our JSP and the Ruby on Rails for the next 2 weeks. So this JSP, I will keep it this week. The Ruby on Rails and the GoJS, we'll keep it for the next week. So is another coming, of course, the 3 weeks we will be able to complete all these topics except the unit number 5. If the unit number 5 is also required, then we'll do it on the last week. That is maybe most probably on the 2nd week of December, before the last instruction week. So, but because this unit is not that much important, I just keep it aside. So once sir comes, then I will discuss and we'll finalize the unit number 5. Otherwise, all 4 units, the complete 4 units will be there for your final exam. Final exam in the sense, you know what is a final exam component is. Am I audible to you, please? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we are on the track almost. Only thing is your efforts very much is required. So please don't ignore these topics: jQuery, JSON, Ruby on Rails. You can keep it aside, but do practice on Ajax, jQuery, and JSON, please. Of course, most of you people have done the PHP, MySQL, and the DOM, as well as the Node.js. So please keep another these particular things. The jQuery, JSON is very, very important for the latest technologies. Please do not ignore this Ajax, jQuery, and JSON. Actually, I have already planned to give the exercise. This already the exercise. jQuery exercise is already given to you. JSON is also given to you. So please do that exercises properly, so that there will be a good justification for you to learn this particular course. Any doubts here, please? Hello.
No, sir, nothing.
Yeah. Any doubts are there? Please put forward now. No problem. I'm here to solve your problems. If you are having any problems on your laptops also, you can share your screen and try to discuss.
Sir, when during this web crawling, fetching the results is taking some time, sir. So I want to introduce something like loading GIF or something. But I'm not able to, I don't know how to use it.
Oh, sorry. You want to fetch the result? Fetching the result is taking some time.
So yes, sir. So before until the results arrive finally, like complete results, I want to display loading.
Are you able to get the partial results there?
Sir.
No, when you say complete means I am just getting confused whether you are able to receive some data first.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Nothing at all. Just it is keep on revolving. Your web
No,
page.
sir. No, sir. Like the web crawler is working, sir. Just it is taking time to display the results. Like it's taking time to fetch the data.
Okay, fetching the data, you can incorporate the Ajax features at least. So whatever data is available to you. Okay, I understand your point now. See, you after you after you fetch the results, means after you crawl the results, what you have done with the data? What is the next step you have done? Tell me.
Simply, I'm echoing the HTML, sir, with PHP, like we
Okay,
did
directly you're
in.
just displaying on the web page. Are you doing that one?
Sir?
No, you are just trying. After you crawl it, you are directly echoing on the web page. That's all.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you are not miss. There is another next part of the question is actually you have to store those values on a MySQL database or any other database or XML. You are not
Yes, sir.
putting it.
I will do that, too, sir. My question is like I want to add a loading GIF, sir, preloader kind of.
Okay. So okay, you want to add another okay loading function onto that one. But
Sir.
anyway, I'll tell you then. It is only for you. That is only for you. For others, is not that much required actually. So before I tell you, I need to execute myself on that particular aspect. Then I will get back to you.
Okay, sir.
But anyway, that you don't you need not incorporate that feature there. Okay. So with whatever results are there, you obtain that you store it there and you try to fetch the results from your database using Ajax feature. That features learning is important here. Don't go for the advanced features. And of course, if you have learned it, is okay. You can go ahead, but at least the minimum things you first complete those things. Minimum things.
Okay, sir.
Sir, my problem statement is kind of a dynamic one, sir. So, do I need to store the data, sir? Because it changes, no, sir, with time. So,
Of course, it changes. But what you have done, you just put there. What you have collected there.
yes, sir. But actually, for example, I collect some data at 10 o'clock. Again, at 11 o'clock, the data changes, sir. So, should I?
Yes, you keep that record there. Why no? That's why you at 10 o'clock. What is that you collected, and at 11 o'clock, what is that you are going to collect, or what you have collected after 11 o'clock, and to store those values.
Yes, sir.
See, that's why the purpose of storing the values is to keep record of all the things that you are getting crawled. Actually, later you can analyze the data. You can apply your data mining algorithms on that one, on the collected data. That is only just for a practice for you to do these things. These are a step-by-step process. These are all. Hello. Yeah. Are you getting this point? See, there are already applications available on the web. Means other. If you Google it, you'll get it. Where people tries to get, they try to search the information from various web sources.
Yes, sir.
But mostly those web crawling or other web applications or your web scrapping and all, basically they do with the Python programming. Okay. So you are just basically you are trying to apply your the fundamental principles of how do you fetch the data and how do you store it. That is what you need to know here. So at this point.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, Rupesh. Hello. Rupesh, are you online?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, Rupesh, you asked me to, means you requested for the extending of that assignment deadline. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sunny, you are also requested to, you have requested to extend the deadline on 1 week back, actually. Still, your assignment is not yet completed. Yes, please. Please go through the materials. If you are having any doubts, you can ask me. Yes, please. I am online only. Please, if you're having any questions, you can post it now. Shaswani Rupa. So in this task, it is mentioned that you have to do HTML validation. So should we have external PHP files, or can we have a PHP file containing both HTML and PHP code? You can have either of them, no problem. So what is meant by validation? Have you understood the meaning of validation here? Yashaswani Rupa. Hello.
You get link no sir that in that for doc file HTML validation website.
Sorry.
HTML validation website you have given a link sir in that evaluation PDF.
That's what that is. Let me. I'm asking Yashaswani, what is meant by validation? Let us first understand what is the meaning of validation.
To check if there are any errors in the HTML code, sir.
That is what it is not errors actually. In fact, the term you should not use as an error. Say whether you are according to the rules and regulations, and in simple terms, you'll understand the word rules and regulations, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you know the meaning of rules and regulation, so people, the World Wide Web Consortium, okay, so they have prepared a set of we call it as a guidelines, where how a web page should look like and how this web page should be displayed and what are the things to be considered.
Yes, sir.
So the DHTML, what is DHTML stands for? Yes, please.
Dynamic HTML.
So at least you can type it on the screen and you can see here dynamic HTML. So
Yes, sir.
so these dynamic HTML tags are there. Tags means the commands or instructions for your web pages.
Yes, sir.
So whether you have used them properly or not.
Yes, sir.
So that is going to be validated. In the sense
Yeah.
that is going to be checked for. It is not for errors, but
Yeah.
whether you use them properly or not, according to the guidelines given by your consortium or not, that's going to be checked. So here PHP on last week, though, if you have attended the class, then or if you are if you have attended that interaction session, you will know you cannot check the PHP.
Yes, sir.
You can only check your HTML.
Dot HTML. Yes.
Yes. HTML means only your client side files will be there usually.
Yes,
Client
sir.
side processing will be there.
Mm.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Rupesh.
Yes, sir.
So, what is that you have done there?
Sir, my PHP code was not running on using Apache on web browser.
See, you have installed. Okay, you have installed your Apache web server on your Windows or
On
in the Linux.
yes, sir, on Linux.
Right? Yes, you run it on the Linux, right?
Yes, sir.
So basically, what I can see from your statement is that my PHP code was not running using Apache on browser. For this, I found a solution, which these commands sudo, okay, a to enable the proxy fcgi set environment, okay. Then a to Apache enable the configuration file PHP 7, okay. Okay, see, basically, these there are, I think, the PHP, the one which you have installed on your system, and the CGI scripting, both the things are not properly installed on your system, which the Apache is not able to understand them. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay,
So
sir.
usually sudo is nothing but your super user. Okay, you are enabling those commands, and your a2 nmod is nothing but your Apache configuration module. You are going to uh, make use of that. Either you enable or disable. This is you are enabling them. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir.
So those two features, basically your CGI and your PHP 7. Usually this problem happens if you installed something else. If suppose PHP 5.6 or the earlier versions of PHPs are there on your system, then it will be having certain problems with your MySQL also. So actually what you have done is you have just set your Apache to understand your CGI server, and as well as with your PHP parser. Then after that, you have restarted your Apache server. That is the 3 commands that you have done.
Okay, sir.
Mm. So it is basically the dependency problems. Dependency means those things which are required for your Apache to understand them. If those things are corrupted, or if they are not installed properly, or if they are having certain issues with those with respect to your hardware computer or with your operating system, sometimes you need to configure your web server with the necessary modules or with necessary tools. So that's what you have done there. How did you come to know that you have to run those 3 commands?
Sir, I search on
Searching
Google.
is search is based on what? What is that you have done there? Search means when you are searching also you have to type something in your search bar. No, what did you type over there?
I only search that PHP code is not running using Apache on browser.
There may be several reasons for that. So many issues may be there. But how did you come to know that only this CGI server and PHP parser is having problem there, and immediately you enabled those configuration files and you restarted it, solved your problem? No, something else you might have searched over there. Most probably the errors that you might have seen on the command prompt, that based on that command prompt, somebody might have given that you need to do these things.
Yes, sir. The PHP was working on terminal, but not working on Apache browser.
Okay, that's what PHP is running separately. That's what that second command is used for. You are making the Apache configuration file to listen to your PHP 7.0. That module can be listened. But what about the first one? You are setting that environment with that CGI. So your Linux environment, yeah, basically CGI is basically the CGI stands for your, you know what is CGI?
CGI.
That is basically a kind of a protocol is basically your protocol, which your operating system. What version of Ubuntu you are using there?
Ubuntu 18 point something.
Okay, Ubuntu 18 point some. Okay, Ubuntu 18.
Yes, sir.
Because by default you will get that PHP also in Ubuntu. If you are using in PHP 5.6 will be there by default. But you are using PHP 7 here. It means you tried to install something and it was not installed properly at some time earlier, maybe. Something has happened there, most probably.
Okay, sir. Understand, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think people have left, even those people. Okay, anyway. Yeah, I'm online only. If you're having any doubts, you can ask me. I'll stop recording because unnecessarily wasting that resource here.